If you're a man over 60 and you've noticed your energy fading, your drive slipping, and your performance in the bedroom becoming inconsistent or even non-existent, you're not imagining it. But what if I told you the problem isn't your age, it's your circulation quietly breaking down, cutting off the blood flow that once made you feel alive, powerful, and fully present? I'm Dr. Mohit Khera. I've spent over 30 years helping men reclaim their strength, stamina, and masculinity, naturally. And what I've discovered through thousands of patient cases is this. In most men past 60, it's not testosterone therapy they need. It's the right combination of vitamins and minerals that their body has slowly lost the ability to absorb. Because here's the truth. Without 5 essential nutrients working in harmony, your body can't circulate blood properly, can't generate clean energy, and can't sustain the performance you once took for granted. And it doesn't stop there. There's a 6th key most men never hear about. A force multiplier that takes the first 5 and turns them into something even more powerful. In this video, I'll walk you through all 6, the specific forms, the right doses, and why each one matters. I'll also reveal 2 critical mistakes that block results in most men over 60, so stay with me. What you'll learn here may just change the way you feel tomorrow morning. Before we begin, if you're serious about restoring your energy, performance, and vitality after 60, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, so you never miss another doctor-approved tip designed specifically for men like you. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and let me know how I can better support your journey. All right, let's dive in. Starting with the very first and most overlooked key to restoring energy and performance after 60, vitamin C. This isn't just about immune health. This is about unlocking blood flow, protecting your arteries, and helping your body deliver oxygen and nutrients exactly where you need them most, including where it counts in the bedroom. Let me explain why this one simple nutrient is the true foundation of male vitality. 1. Vitamin C, the circulation commander. Let me tell you something most men never hear from their doctors. The real reason your body feels slower, heavier, or less responsive in your 60s isn't always your hormones. It's often your circulation quietly breaking down. And one of the biggest culprits behind that breakdown is a quiet, creeping deficiency in a vitamin you probably stopped thinking about after high school: vitamin C. I've seen it over and over again in my clinic. A man walks in, mid to late 60s, looks healthy enough on paper, maybe a little extra weight, maybe a little more tired than he used to be. But underneath, blood flow that's been slowly deteriorating, muscles starving for oxygen, arteries losing their flexibility, and confidence in the bedroom quietly fading away. That's exactly what happened with Robert, a 67-year-old retired engineer who sat across from me one morning with his shoulders slumped and his voice low. "Doc," he said, "I used to have energy. I used to get things done. Now I just fade. By mid-afternoon, I feel like someone pulled the plug." And then he paused. "But the hardest part," he added, eyes downcast, "is how it's affected my wife. I feel like I've let her down." I've heard those words too many times, and it never gets easier. But the good news is, we can fix it. You see, vitamin C is far more than an immune booster. It's one of the most powerful allies your blood vessels have. It helps your body produce collagen, which keeps your arteries strong and flexible. It protects the endothelium, that delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, so your circulation flows cleanly, smoothly, and efficiently. But the real magic of vitamin C is this: it helps preserve nitric oxide. That's the molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and open up. It's what gives you those full, strong erections, not just in your 30s or 40s, but right now. And without enough vitamin C, nitric oxide breaks down faster than your body can use it. That means your circulation collapses, your muscles don't recover, and your bedroom performance quietly fades. This is not theory. This is fact. Clinical research shows vitamin C can improve blood flow in men with cardiovascular concerns by up to 50%. That's a dramatic difference, one that you can feel not just in your legs or your heart, but in your confidence and connection. The problem? Around 7% of American adults are already low in vitamin C, and the number jumps sharply in men over 60. Why? Because as we age, absorption slows down. We spend more time indoors. We stop eating the fresh fruits and vegetables our bodies need. And even when we do, it's often not enough to hit optimal levels. For most men, 90 milligrams per day is considered the bare minimum. But if you're trying to improve circulation, energy, and performance, that's not nearly enough. What I've seen work time and again for men like Robert is this: 500 to 1,000 milligrams per day, ideally in a buffered form that's easier on the stomach, and paired with bioflavonoids to boost absorption. That's exactly what we gave Robert. Nothing fancy, no testosterone injections, just the right dose of high-quality vitamin C taken consistently every single day. And after 3 months, he came back a different man. His skin looked brighter, his posture had improved, but more than that, his energy returned, and so did his intimacy with Margaret. You could see it in his eyes. The light was back on. And listen, this isn't a miracle. This is what your body is capable of when it's properly supported, when the nutrients it depends on are present and circulating and doing their job. Vitamin C is the foundation. It's what keeps your blood flowing, your heart strong, your muscles oxygenated, and your performance steady, but it's just the beginning. Because while vitamin C opens the highway for blood to flow, it's zinc that fuels the engine of testosterone and power. And that's where we're headed next. Into the one mineral your body can't produce on its own, but absolutely depends on to feel like a man. Let me show you why most men over 60 are dangerously low in zinc. And what happens when you finally get it right. 2. Zinc, the testosterone trigger. There's a certain look I've come to recognize in men past 60. They come in dressed sharp, polite, maybe even still working or recently retired. On the surface, everything looks fine, but behind the eyes, there's fatigue, quiet frustration, a sense that something vital has slipped away, and they can't quite put their finger on what or how to get it back. That was Michael. He was 63, a well-respected business consultant. He'd spent decades building a name for himself, advising CEOs, leading strategy teams, commanding attention in boardrooms. His handshake was strong, his voice still carried weight, but when we sat down, he said, "Doc, I feel like I've lost my edge. I'm tired all the time. I've stopped enjoying things. I'm not the same man my wife married." And then he looked at me, not as a doctor, but as someone hoping for a lifeline. Is this just aging, or is something wrong with me? It's a question I hear every week, and more often than not, the answer is simple and fixable. For Michael, it came down to one mineral that fuels almost everything that makes a man feel like himself: zinc. Zinc is what I call the testosterone trigger. Without it, your body struggles to make testosterone. And when your testosterone drops, so does your energy, your motivation, your confidence, and yes, your performance. But zinc does far more than just support hormones. It powers over 300 enzyme reactions. It helps regulate metabolism, immune function, and tissue repair. It sharpens your mind. It keeps your heart steady. And it protects your prostate. In fact, your prostate contains more zinc than any other part of your body. Not your bones, not your liver, your prostate. That's how critical zinc is to your male biology. It helps prevent swelling, supports healthy function, and may even reduce the risk of nighttime bathroom visits that disrupt sleep and wear you down. When Michael's lab results came back, they told the full story. His serum zinc was just 65 micrograms per deciliter, far below the optimal zone. And it's more common than you might think. Studies show over 60% of men past 60 have suboptimal or clinically low zinc levels. That number climbs even higher for men with digestive issues, diabetes, or poor absorption, all of which become more common with age. Why is zinc deficiency so common in older men? Because as we get older, our stomachs produce less acid. That means we absorb less zinc from food, Add in prescription medications, poor dietary choices, or stress, and the reserves drain fast. Here's the good news. Zinc restoration is incredibly effective, but only if you use the right form. Zinc oxide, found in most low-cost supplements, is practically useless. Less than 15% gets absorbed. Michael had been taking it for months and saw no change. We switched him to 25 milligrams of zinc citrate, a highly bioavailable form. No guesswork, no extreme dosing, just smart supplementation, backed by science. Over the next 8 weeks, everything changed. His labs improved, yes, but more importantly, Michael improved. He started waking up refreshed. His motivation came back. He told me, "It feels like someone flipped the lights back on." And his wife noticed it too. Not just in the bedroom, but in conversation, presence, attention. That's the power of balanced hormones, steady energy, and the confidence that comes from knowing your body is working with you again. If you're over 60 and you're feeling sluggish, disconnected, or less like yourself, it might not be just stress or age or bad luck. It might be zinc. And if your levels are low, your testosterone, your metabolism, even your mental clarity are likely suffering more than you realize. To get started, aim for 15 to 30 milligrams of zinc per day, ideally in the citrate or picolinate form. Take it on an empty stomach for best results. I often recommend taking it before bed when it won't compete with food or other minerals. And if you're on medications or have digestive challenges, talk to your doctor. In some cases, zinc injections or advanced protocols may be needed to restore optimal levels. But don't ignore this. I've seen too many men write off their symptoms as normal aging, when the real culprit is a deficiency that can be corrected in a matter of weeks. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Because while zinc may be the hormone trigger, the spark to your masculine engine, the engine itself still needs fuel, and without it, even the best testosterone levels can't do much. That fuel is stored deep inside your cells, and it depends on a nutrient so foundational, so powerful, that without it, nothing, not even your heartbeat, runs the way it should. Let's talk about magnesium, and why, for men over 60, it may be the single most important mineral you're not getting enough of. 3. Magnesium, the metabolic spark plug. There's a moment I'll never forget. A patient named David, 65 years old, lean, clean eating, and disciplined to the core, sat in front of me with confusion written all over his face. "Doc, I've done everything right. I eat healthy, I stay active, I sleep well, but I'm still exhausted. Every single day." He paused and looked down. "And I've stopped being intimate with my wife, not because I don't want to, I just don't have it in me anymore." Now, when a man like David tells you that, you listen. Because it's not just fatigue, it's defeat. And it's the kind that builds silently, month after month, until you feel like you're just surviving the day instead of living it. That's when we looked deeper. Not at his testosterone, which, by the way, was solid. Not at his heart, his EKG was normal. But at something more foundational, his cellular fuel, his ability to convert food into energy. That's when the answer became clear. His magnesium levels were critically low. Magnesium is one of the most important yet most overlooked minerals in a man's body. It plays a role in over 300 enzyme reactions. That means your muscles, nerves, brain, heart, and hormones all rely on it every minute of every day. It's the spark plug that keeps your engine running, and when it runs low, everything slows down. What makes magnesium so essential for men over 60 is that it fuels the mitochondria, the part of your cells responsible for energy production. Without it, your body can't make ATP, the currency of cellular energy. That means you can eat clean, sleep 8 hours, and still feel like you've been hit by a truck. Your body simply can't turn that fuel into fire. But magnesium does more than just support energy. It helps regulate blood pressure, balance blood sugar, and calm the nervous system. It controls muscle contraction and relaxation, which means it can stop those sudden leg cramps that wake you at night or ruin a walk in the park. It supports testosterone synthesis. and it relaxes the smooth muscles that line your blood vessels, improving circulation, blood flow, and yes, sexual performance. The problem is, most older men are low in magnesium and don't know it. Blood tests often miss it because magnesium is stored mostly in tissues, not blood. And even if you eat well, magnesium absorption declines with age, especially if you're on medications like diuretics, PPIs, or statins, which deplete it further. That's exactly what was happening with David. On paper, he was doing everything right, but his body couldn't hold on to the magnesium it needed. We started him on 400 milligrams of magnesium citrate daily, a form that absorbs well and is gentle on the stomach. We also added foods rich in magnesium, spinach, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and even a bit of dark chocolate. Within a few weeks, he noticed something. He didn't wake up tired. The fog lifted. His muscles felt stronger. And for the first time in over a year, he initiated intimacy with his wife. Not out of obligation, but out of desire. He came back after 3 months and told me, "I feel like my old self again, like I've got my rhythm back." And that's what this is all about, getting your rhythm, your energy, your sense of power back. If you're over 60 and dealing with fatigue, weakness, poor sleep, or declining performance, magnesium deficiency could be the missing link. Start with 400 to 420 mg per day. Magnesium citrate and magnesium glycinate are two of the best forms, highly absorbable, effective, and easy on digestion. Avoid magnesium oxide. It barely absorbs and may do more harm than good. And remember, this isn't just about feeling less tired. This is about restoring balance to your body at the cellular level, so everything works better, from your muscles to your mind to your libido. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Because while magnesium fuels your cells and keeps your circulation alive, there's one vitamin that functions more like a hormone. And most older men are dangerously low in it. It affects your testosterone, your immune system, your mood, even your heart. And without it, everything we've discussed so far, vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, can fall flat. Let's talk about the hidden powerhouse behind male vitality that's not just a vitamin, but the hormonal key to your strength and longevity. Let's talk about vitamin D. 4. Vitamin D, the hormone-like vitamin. There's something humbling about watching a man slowly lose his light, not all at once, but gradually. His posture softens, his eyes grow tired, his sense of presence begins to dim. And when he finally speaks, you can hear it in his voice. That question he doesn't quite know how to ask. Is this really just what getting older feels like? That was Harold, 70 years old, a former high school coach, now retired, still trying to stay active. He walked into my office not because something specific was wrong, but because he felt himself fading. He used to lead with strength, with laughter, with focus, but lately he felt dull, blunted, disconnected. He couldn't sleep through the night. He stopped feeling interested in intimacy. And worst of all, he said, "I don't feel like I'm showing up for my wife the way I used to." We ran the full panel. Testosterone was low, yes, but what really caught my eye was his vitamin D. His levels were barely above 20 nanograms per milliliter. And that's when the pieces clicked into place. You see, vitamin D is one of the most misunderstood nutrients in the male body. People call it a vitamin, but in reality, it behaves more like a hormone. It controls over 2,000 genes, influences immune response, regulates mood, and plays a crucial role in testosterone production. That's not speculation, that's biochemistry. Low vitamin D has been linked to everything from fatigue and low libido to depression, high blood pressure, and even poor cardiovascular outcomes. In men over 60, it can be the difference between feeling present in your life and watching it pass you by from the sidelines. And here's the hidden truth. Most men past 60 are deficient, not just a little low, but clinically deficient. Why? Because your skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. You may spend more time indoors, you might wear sunscreen, and even if you get outside, if your kidneys or liver aren't functioning optimally, conversion can suffer. That's what was happening with Harold. He was getting outside every day, walking, gardening, even golfing, but it wasn't enough. His body simply couldn't create or maintain the levels he needed. We started him on 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily, the active and most absorbable form. Within weeks, his energy stabilized, his mood lifted, he began sleeping more deeply, and slowly but surely, his sense of vitality returned. 3 months later, he brought his wife to his follow-up. She smiled, looked at me, and said, "Thank you for giving me my husband back." And that's why I urge every man over 60 to stop guessing. Get your vitamin D tested, specifically your 25-hydroxy-D level. You want to be in the range of 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter. Below 30? You're already in deficiency territory. Above 60? That's rare, but still worth monitoring. If you're supplementing, take vitamin D3 with a meal that contains some healthy fat. It improves absorption. Depending on your levels, most men do well with 2,000 to 4,000 IU per day. And remember, it's not just about feeling better. It's about restoring the hormonal rhythm your body relies on. To build muscle, think clearly, desire intimacy, and maintain cardiovascular health. Harold's story isn't unique. I've seen it play out hundreds of times. The quiet loss of vitality that gets blamed on aging, when in reality, it's something far more treatable. Vitamin D is like a switch, and when you turn it back on, your entire internal system responds. Your energy, your clarity, your emotional resilience, your physical strength. It's one of the most powerful, accessible changes you can make. But while vitamin D helps your hormones, your heart, and your mental sharpness, there's another system you cannot ignore. A system responsible for your memory, your nerve function, and your ability to stay focused and alert in every part of your life. Because energy doesn't just come from circulation or hormones, it also comes from the way your brain and nerves process information and communicate with the rest of your body. Let's talk about the family of nutrients that powers that system. B vitamins, and why getting the right forms, especially after 60, could be the key to unlocking your energy, memory, and emotional strength. 5. B complex, the nerve and energy support system. There's something uniquely frustrating about knowing the words you want to say, but feeling them slip just out of reach, or walking into a room and forgetting why you went there, or trying to stay focused in a conversation, only to feel your mind drift, like your brain is running in slow motion. For a man in his 60s or 70s, that mental fog isn't just annoying, it's unsettling. Because when your mind begins to feel less sharp, it affects everything. Your confidence, your conversations, your relationships, your independence. Frank, one of my longtime patients, knew that feeling all too well. He was 68, a retired teacher, loved by generations of students. He came to me after his wife gently suggested he seemed more distracted, more tired, and not quite himself. He told me, "I still feel like me on the inside, but it's like my brain isn't keeping up. I'm forgetting names, losing track of tasks, and sometimes I just sit in silence because it's easier than trying to follow a conversation." I could see the fear behind his words, not fear of old age, but fear of losing the parts of himself that mattered most: clarity, engagement, the ability to be present with the people he loved. What Frank didn't realize, and what many men over 60 don't either, is that this creeping fog is often linked not to dementia or even aging, but to a deficiency in essential B vitamins. The B complex family, especially B6, B12, and folate, plays a massive role in how your brain and nervous system operate. They help your body build neurotransmitters, repair nerve cells, support memory, and convert the food you eat into real, usable energy. They're the bridge between what you feed your body and what your mind is capable of doing with it. And yet, deficiencies are incredibly common, especially in men past 60. One of the main reasons? As we age, our ability to absorb vitamin B12 from food drops significantly, largely due to reduced production of intrinsic factor in the stomach. It doesn't matter how much protein or meat you eat. If your stomach can't extract and absorb that B12, your brain and nerves suffer. Frank's blood work confirmed exactly what I suspected. His B12 levels were low, his folate was borderline, and his homocysteine, a marker of cardiovascular and neurological risk. We began a simple but powerful plan: a methylated B-complex supplement. The active forms of B12 as methylcobalamin, B6 as P5P, and folate as methylfolate. These forms bypass the absorption hurdles and go straight to work in the body. Within 4 weeks, Frank noticed the difference. His focus sharpened. His words came easier. He started joking again, even finishing crossword puzzles, something he hadn't done in over a year. But the benefits of B vitamins don't stop at mental clarity. They also regulate homocysteine levels, reducing inflammation in blood vessels and protecting your heart. They support red blood cell production, which improves oxygen delivery to muscles and organs. They even help with mood, as B6 and B12 play a role in serotonin and dopamine balance. The very chemicals that keep you motivated and emotionally resilient. If you've been feeling mentally tired, emotionally flat, or like your energy disappears halfway through the day, your B vitamin status could be quietly working against you. And like Frank, you may not need more caffeine or rest. You may just need the right nutritional support. For most men over 60, I recommend a daily B-complex supplement that includes 500 to 1,000 mcg of methylcobalamin, B12, 20 to 50 milligrams of PP, B6, 400 to 800 mcg of methylfolate, B9. Make sure the label says methylated. This ensures your body can actually use what you're giving it. And take it with breakfast to support steady energy and mental clarity throughout the day. Frank's story is one I've seen play out countless times. A man who feels like he's fading mentally, only to find out he's not broken, just undernourished. When your brain gets what it needs, it doesn't just work better. You feel more alive, more capable, more connected. But here's where things get truly powerful. Because while each of these vitamins, vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, vitamin D, and the B complex, offers massive benefits on its own, there's something extraordinary that happens when you combine them in the right way. A kind of biological synergy that amplifies their effects, not just adding them together, but multiplying their power throughout your entire body. In the next section, I'll show you how these 5 nutrients work together to restore strength, sharpen your mind, and unlock a sense of vitality you may have thought was gone for good. Let's talk about the science and real stories behind the synergy. 6. The power of synergy. Why these 5 work best together. There's something extraordinary that happens when you stop treating your health like a series of disconnected problems, and instead start giving your body exactly what it needs to work as a unified system. I've seen it in patients who went from tired, foggy, and defeated to sharp, strong, and full of life again. And it doesn't come from any single pill, injection, or shortcut. It comes from synergy. The way certain nutrients work together, multiply each other's effects, and create something far greater than what they can achieve alone. One patient who reminds me of this truth is James, a 68-year-old retired math teacher. He was logical, thoughtful, and meticulous. The kind of man who kept records of everything. When he first came in, he had already tried a few supplements on his own. Vitamin C, then zinc, then magnesium. Each one brought a small improvement, but nothing dramatic. He still felt like he was operating at 60% of who he used to be. His energy was unreliable. His mind wandered. His motivation dipped midday. He told me, "It's like I'm doing the right things, but not seeing the payoff." What James didn't yet understand, and what many men over 60 don't, is that these nutrients were never meant to work in isolation. Your body is a system. And like any system, when the parts work in harmony, the results are exponentially better. So, we developed a simple synergy protocol. Nothing extreme, just the right forms, the right doses, taken consistently and in the right combinations. 1,000 milligrams of buffered vitamin C with bioflavonoids. 25 mg of zinc citrate. 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate. 2000 IU of vitamin D3 with a healthy fat-based breakfast, and a high-quality methylated B complex taken with his morning meal. Within a few weeks, James noticed something different. Not just one symptom improving, but a wave of changes. His mornings began with clarity. His energy stretched further into the evening. He found himself reconnecting with his wife during conversations, not zoning out like before. His physical strength began to return, not just in workouts but in everyday moments, standing taller, moving easier, sleeping deeper. 8 weeks in, he came back with a quiet grin and said, "It's like I finally re-entered my life." This is the power of synergy. Vitamin C enhances how your gut absorbs zinc. It also protects zinc and magnesium from oxidative stress, making them more effective. Zinc, in turn, works alongside vitamin C to rebuild collagen and strengthen vessel walls. Magnesium helps your body convert B vitamins into active coenzymes, and it supports hormone regulation triggered by zinc and vitamin D. Meanwhile, vitamin D boosts testosterone, supports immune function, and influences over 2,000 genes, including those related to muscle growth, mental focus, and energy balance. And the B complex? It ties the entire system together by feeding your nervous system, your brain, and your metabolism. When these nutrients are combined correctly, they don't just support your organs. They enhance your performance as a whole. You get stronger blood flow, more stable hormones, better focus, deeper sleep, improved drive, and sharper resilience, physically and emotionally. Now, I'll be honest with you. Most men miss out on this synergy because they take the wrong forms, the wrong doses, or they're inconsistent. They mean well, but they don't know how to combine these elements in a way that allows their body to thrive. That's why I emphasize quality, precision, and habit. Because it's not just about taking supplements, it's about restoring the rhythm your body was meant to follow. The harmony that fuels your strength, protects your heart, powers your intimacy, and helps you feel like yourself again. James isn't the only man I've seen transformed by this approach. I've watched patients in their 60s, 70s, even late 80s restore clarity, rekindle connection, and reclaim a sense of vitality they thought was long gone, simply by giving their body what it had been missing for years. So if you've tried one thing here or there and felt disappointed, don't give up. Maybe you weren't doing it wrong. Maybe you just weren't doing it together. Synergy isn't a luxury, it's the missing key. And yet, even when you get the right nutrients, in the right forms and combinations, there's one final barrier that quietly holds most men back. It has nothing to do with what you take, and everything to do with how you take it. In the final part of this video, I'll show you the 2 most common mistakes that sabotage results, and how to fix them so your efforts finally start to pay off. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Conclusion: bringing it all together. Over the years, I've watched countless men, just like you, believe their best days were behind them. But once we addressed the simple deficiencies holding them back, everything changed. Energy returned. Focus sharpened. Confidence rebuilt. Vitamin C opened up blood flow. Zinc reignited testosterone. Magnesium fueled every cell. Vitamin D restored balance. B vitamins lit up the brain. And together, they created a rhythm the body remembered. If you've been feeling tired, disconnected, or not quite yourself, you're not broken. You're likely just missing what your body still needs. And now, you know exactly where to start.